there's a lot going on. I mean, life has been crazy. Your job's been crazy. My job's been crazy. I'm sure Brian, thank you for joining us again, but I'm sure life has been
Absolutely.
crazy. Yeah.
2-pint Shakur.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So I think we talked about doing like all of our episodes this year about around Beer Cup, and I mean we're there. We'll we'll talk a little bit more. I think in a couple weeks about sorting and stewarding, and maybe we'll get Keith Manchester to come hang out with us, and maybe David Jones. There, David, Keith was supposed to be our cellar master, but he just he had a real life commitment come up that he may not be able to make it now, but I'm sure he'll still come on and talk about it with us.
Yeah.
But yeah, so tonight we're going to talk about money because we need money, and hopefully people will watch this and share this and go out and help us find some money or come up with ideas on people that we can pester for money because we've got to pay for this amazing competition and all of the cool ass prizes and shit that go along with it.
Keith's in chat. He says, thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Fuck yeah.
For those listening later, Bryan Fischer is with us tonight.
Also known as 2-pint Shakur.
2-pint Shakur.
Because
well, that's everybody out there in radio and YouTube land. And
so Brian is the guest. I'm sorry, 2-pint. Go back to basics here. What are you drinking, buddy?
I am drinking my my first attempt at an Irish dry stout. And
what do you
turned out too damn bad?
No,
it looks dark.
It does.
It's very Guinnessy.
I mean, it checks the box for being a stout-like appearance. You get the gold star there, and if you think it tastes like Guinness, then you've brewed a pretty fucking good dry stout. Then,
yeah, I was stunned at how simple the recipe is. Excuse me, and you know, brew. I mean, I think it came in at like 4%, so brew day was super easy, and it's like hitting all the numbers. I'm like, something is bound to go wrong with this. This thing is just gonna like explode in the fermenter, or gremlins will come and steal it, or it's gonna turn sour or some stupid shit. And it actually turned out pretty damn good.
Good shit. What about you, Jason?
Oh man, you know me. I'm hitting the smitten.
You hitting the what?
The smitten. I still got.
Oh, okay.
My last 6-pack of out of all the smitten I bought. I haven't been down to Bell's, and I'm sure it's gone. But I love me some.
So for those wildly out of the know, what is smitten?
So smitten is a rye pale ale brewed by Bell's. It used to be a regular spring staple. It was like you got smitten right before, or I'm sorry, right after like Oberon, but like before Hop Slam. I think where it used to fit, like a spring. And then I think a couple of years they tried to do it around like Valentine's Day because you go to the Bell store and you could buy smitten tines and shit like that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, whatever. A few years ago, for some reason they stopped brewing it. And which, of course, because it was my favorite beer that Bell's brewed. And I think probably 6 years ago they stopped brewing it. But then twice, I guess, well, like, I don't know if they brought it back last year, but the year before last, they brought a limited release back. And then this year they did. And I immediately went down and bought a case, and I've gone back and I got a little bit more. But I haven't been back since to see if they still have it. But I am. Yeah, I think this is my last 6-pack. I'm probably going to drink it tonight. So
I hope you do.
Yeah. Fucking love it. It's a beautiful, spicy rye.
Do you think it's spicy? Do you get some
spice? Sorry. Like snappy, hoppy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there's Joel, our old beer distributor buddy. Yeah, Winter White, which is, I don't even know what they fucking call that anymore. And then Smith, and then Oberon. Yeah. It was around there. It was like, but yeah, it's I don't mean spice, like it's not spicy like herbal spicy.
Okay.
Rye beer has that kind of like spice bite to it, or snap. I don't know. It's a very crisp, hop forward pale ale. I don't even know hops in it. I never looked. Now I gotta look. Anyway, what are you drinking?
We'll
Fucking
find a
love it.
Smitten clone. Yeah, I don't know.
Brandon Edwards. I'll jump in there. Brandon
Oh,
Edwards,
that's right.
years
Yeah.
ago, brewed a Smitten clone, and it was fucking amazing. But anyway,
I'll have to get that recipe from him. I have a as of yet undisclosed lager for the Keepers Lager competition coming up on Sunday, so it's still not quite as clear as I would like it. It's getting there. We'll see what 2 days gets it. And then I got a little 32-ounce guy of hazy IPA to munch on
the
when I
hazy
run
was
out of that.
very, very peach treeny.
Well, so Shayna and I were sitting down in the basement last night, and Better on Draft was down at Presidential a week or two ago, because Presidential, for those who didn't know, won the spring March Madness brewery thing that they do with 64 breweries across the state of Michigan. It's like an opt-in thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they pair up breweries to go head to head on social media for likes, essentially. And Presidential squeaked it out over, I believe it was, is it Someday Brewing? Did I get that right?
I think so. Yeah, sounds right.
Who came to the party. So because Presidential won, Better on Draft showed up, bought a keg, and then everybody got to drink a pint off this keg until the keg was gone, basically. And they bought a keg of Rutherford, and on their podcast they had, I don't even know where I'm going with this, only that I don't remember what started.
I commented on the peacherine.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So they bought a keg of Rutherford, and we were drinking on that, and they mentioned my name in the podcast. Kaylee did, actually, and how the recipe came from me and stuff like that. But Shane and I were sitting down in the basement last night drinking my hazy, and it very much is Rutherfordy, and it got me thinking, Mosaic is such a freak. So Mosaic is in both of those recipes, and it's just such a distinct hop that anything that you put it in makes it taste very similar to any other beer that Mosaic is in. And it's all the other hops are completely different, but it's 80-90% kind of what Rutherford tastes like, even though it's just Mosaic and other hops.
I'll be honest, it's been a long time since I've had a Rutherford, so I don't remember, but I was impressed with that beer last weekend when we had it, just being very stone. I got a lot of stone fruit, a lot of flavor out of your hazy, your current hazy.
Rutherford is I want to say shit. I'd have to go look up the recipe. It's Motueka, Mosaic, and then another hop. And I think it's El Dorado, but I'm not positive. El Dorado, Mosaic. Yeah, El Dorado, Mosaic, Motueka. Yeah, and this is Peacherine in Motueka.
No, Mosaic. Peacherine and Mosaic.
Or Peacherine and Mosaic, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway.
And then we can't talk about your lager because we're going to be judging that on Sunday.
Yeah, I know. So,
and you guys were talking about life getting out of hand. My lager is still sitting in the fermentation chamber. I was planning on bottling it up 2 weeks ago, so I'd have it ready for the meeting Sunday. And then I said, well, that didn't happen. Well, I'll just bottle it the following week. I should be able to get it carved up in a week, and then everything fell apart last weekend, and so there it sits. But it's lagering, so it should be very nice after it's done.
I got a 2.5 gallon keg, man. I can be there probably Saturday morning or
Friday. And I've got some of those carb caps that you can screw onto plastic bottles.
Oh.
So you could put it in.
I could force carb it in a keg and have it ready for Sunday.
Do you think you could get it in a whole thing in a keg ready that quickly? Maybe.
Oh, yeah. I can do a keg overnight. Okay. 40 pounds, shake it every once in a while, hold it like a baby.
Okay. All right.
I've done it. We'll talk, Brian. I'll come over.
We'll talk. Okay.
Fuck it. What? Well, no, we can't. See, I want to talk. I want to ask you what lager did you do? What was interesting about it? But in case we do get it ready, you can't say shit because
Yeah.
we're going to judge it. So,
I did a lager beer.
okay.
And what was interesting about it was this was the second one I've done. The first one became a diacetyl bomb, and it was terrible. So the IPA that I did for the club competition also had the same problem, and I learned about a wonderful product called ALDC, and now that's going into every damn beer I brew.
Even if you don't buy it in bulk, it's like $1 a brew, and it's such cheap insurance. Yeah, it goes into everything I make too, for sure. Yep.
I actually threw out a big bottle of ALDC.
No, on accident?
No, I mean, so I bottled, right? And
Yeah.
I had a 2-ounce bottle, so
Yeah.
that's effectively what, like $40 worth of ALDC.
Yeah.
And it was up in the fridge on the shelf, and I was like getting shit around. I took it out and I set it on the top of the freezer and was moving some other shit, and then went to get it and knocked it off and landed on the cap. Cap broke. Bottle, because those bottles are never going to break, but the cap broke and it went
oh, that's sad.
Yeah, not that I'm brewing anytime anyway. Yeah, I'm a few months away from brewing, so it'll be fine. I'll buy more.
They make it every day.
Yeah, they do. Hold on. You made me think. So I've been talking to a guy in Wisconsin about a brewing system that I would like to purchase, and you made me think I haven't looked at Messenger in several hours, and I was going to see if he messaged me back, but he hasn't. So never mind.
What kind of system?
It's a Spike 10-gallon electric system, 3 Bessel. What else? I don't know. Comes with a few fermenters that'll probably sell.
That's awesome.
But it's just a nice solid Spike system that'll look nice in my new brewery.
Cool.
Or another system if this one doesn't work out. This one, I think it's a pilot system for a brewery in Wisconsin called East Troy Brewing.
Wisconsin?
Minnesota? No, Wisconsin. Yeah, Wisconsin. I made the mistake. I saw Troy and I thought, oh, it's in Troy, Michigan. So I messaged the guy. I'm like, hey, I'm interested. And then we started communicating, and then I went to Google how far away he is. And then I'm like, there's no East Troy. And in one of the pictures you sent me, there's like an East Troy Brewing logo. And so I'm like, no, East Troy Brewing. And it's like East Troy. I think ChatGPT was like, East Troy Brewing's in Wisconsin, dumbass. It's only 4 hours.
You need me to provide you.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's like just north of Chicago. So, yeah, if that pans out, then I'll drive over there in the next couple of weeks and get a brewing system.
Very cool.
Sick.
That I have no room for right now, and I couldn't plug in if I wanted to. So. Yeah.
I mean, your new house is basically kind of like open storage right now anyway, right? Like,
well, it has no
throw
doors.
stuff wherever, right? Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Fair.
No doors, no locks. So
I guess that's fair.
It's just a place in the woods right now that's covered that. Yeah. So
you don't trust your neighbors?
I don't even have neighbors to trust. It's just in the woods. So if people are like, hey, what's back here? Oh, a brewing system. And they could take it and no one would know.
You would know.
Or you go to brew and
because it'd be gone.
The family of raccoons that is taking up residence.
That too.
Like, this is mine now.
Yeah. This is the chalet. Fuck off. Right. Anyway,
money.
So we're talking with 2 Pint, aka Bryan Fischer, who last year was a big help in getting us funding for Beer Cup, along with some other friends that also kicked in. I think Bill Belair, helped bring in a big chunk, and then some other friends, reached out to breweries they know. But Bryan did us the solid of bar hopping around or brewery hopping around Michigan and drumming up quite a bit of change for us. So we brought him into the team, and he's going to hopefully help us do that again this year. So that's why you're here with us. So thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. That is my goal, to bring on as many breweries and, friends, relatives, neighbors that we can to
That's right.
help fund the cause.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we don't need sponsorships from just, breweries. Like, yeah, for sure. Like, get grandma's like a sewing business like involved or something like that.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't care.
yeah, we'll give away like an Afghan as a prize or something like that. Like,
Yep.
Sweet.
Somebody
Well,
would be really fucking.
That was one of the things that I was thinking. That was one of the things I was thinking about was, it doesn't have to be just breweries. You can start thinking outside the box. I know the smoked beer category always goes to,
Dave's.
yeah, Famous Dave's, and so why not hit up? I don't know I mean, I live in Fenville, where Crane Orchards is. Hey, you guys want to sponsor the any of the cider categories? Stop by a farmer's market and see if anybody wants to sponsor fruit, herb and veg. That sort of thing. Just
Yeah.
thinking along those lines as well. It's not just brewery related, for sure.
No, that I love that idea. And we had hit up, I think in the past, I tried to reach out to some cideries. I don't know that, you know what, before I speak too much, I should actually open the list from last year and double check. But, like the mead categories, we've always been really good about getting the meads. But yeah, we haven't been able to successfully get a cidery to do that. So that's a great idea. Last year on the mead front, we had, Schramm's Ken has always been good. He's always covered, like I think Fruit Mead he's sponsored for the last several years. But and then Maniacal came in and they were a big sponsor, Best of Show sponsor for us last year. But I think it'd be great if we could reach out and get, it doesn't have to be. Last year we sold less than half of the corporate categories. And this is a big chunk of change. So we put 100% of the money that we get back into Beer Cup, right? We buy the metals, we buy the supplies and stuff needed to do the judging, and then the rest of it goes into prizes. And last year we were able to give $50 to every gold medal. Was it 30 to every silver?
Or 30
20?
or 25,
something like that.
20? Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, and then on top of that, we had just a massive amount of physical gifts that we got from our large corporate brewery or large corporate sponsors. Like, I'm drawing a blank, dude. It starts with a B.
I'm thinking
BSG.
BSG.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
G, which is I think they're a copyright house or something like that.
Yeah.
BMG or
Yeah. They,
so,
10 your first 10 CDs for a penny. Yeah.
But yeah, BSG came through. Inkbird. A lot of the yeast companies, Lalamond, who's our buddy over there? Wow.
The Amaretti people.
Yep, Amaretti came through. I was trying to think of the scientists that we talked to from the yeast place. Doctor.
Oh, from Omega.
Thanks.
Lance Shaner.
Yeah, Lance Shaner. Dr. Shaner. But yeah, all those guys came through and and we were able to give out a lot of, brew kits, wine kits, temperature controllers. We had some nice packs together. I think SS Brewtech or Spike donated some shit. I think they
SS
both did.
Brewtech sent us a fermenter.
Yep.
We got a digital honey refractometer from one of the labs that we reached out to, and then $300 for each best of show, both
Yeah.
beer and then mead and cider.
Yeah. So that takes, and I don't want to miss the clubs. So we did sell, and we always have sold all the category sponsorship. So we sell category sponsorship to clubs for $30, and we sell corporate category sponsors to businesses for $50. And the clubs have always come in and really supported us. And so if you're listening and you're in a homebrew club, I am going to send out that email tomorrow and I'll post the information on a couple of the Michigan Beer Club Facebook groups, Homebrew Club Presidents and MHF page and things like that. So if you can share that around, talk to your clubs, get those category sponsorships while you can. I would say last year we wanted to work some club activity back into the award ceremony, but the weather wouldn't let us do that. I'm not sure what we're going to try to do this year. After talking to a lot of clubs last year, a lot of them didn't really want to do that. And we don't want to drag out the award ceremony too long, but I'll be talking to the clubs again to see if they're interested in participating in some way. We'd love to have them. But if nobody, really wants to do that, then we don't have to, but we definitely appreciate the support from the clubs and that money. So yeah, so we're getting that out tomorrow, and then we're going to start hitting up breweries any day.
Pretty much.
And then we'll start going out for our big sponsors. So yeah, good episode, guys. Thanks.
Yep,
Right.
I was just gonna say that. I'm like, it was really good talking to you guys.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
All right, we rock on 3. 1, 2, 3.
No, so what are we going to do different this year?
Well, I know last year, just for anybody that doesn't know, Jason and I were talking. I think it was when you were doing a pickup for the entries for Beer Cup, and we were
probably,
sitting
yeah.
having a beer, and you had either I asked or you had said something about not too many sponsors, and I'm like, really? And we're talking some more, and you basically said, yeah, no one's been really coming through with any sponsorships. And I know every year you throw a post up on the Beer Cup Facebook page and that sort of thing. Hey, anybody knows a brewery or a friend or whatever that wants to sponsor, let us know. And I realized that most everybody probably felt the same way I did. Oh, well, somebody else knows somebody, and of course they've already reached out and done it, and it wasn't happening. And I was like, well, fuck that. And I think it was maybe that next weekend or the weekend after, I got in the car and just kind of drove around within an hour of my house and hit, I don't know, maybe 8-10 breweries, and started talking to people and just going, hey, this is what we're doing, and we'd really love to have you help out. And I know what was cool was everybody I talked to was really open about it. I didn't get anybody just going, yeah, we don't do any of that bullshit, get out of here. There were the people that I would say feigned interest. Oh yeah, wow, that sounds like a great. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, here's my email address. Shoot me an email and I'll let you know. And then, hey, person, talked with you and really love to see what you guys want to do. Hello,
Crickets.
hello.
Yep.
Hi.
Yeah.
But then there were others. There were some breweries that I went to, and I was just like, I'm going to stop in here. I'm sure that they're not going to want to do anything. And over the moon excited about, hell yeah, we're going to sponsor, and offering a lot more than what we were actually asking for in some cases. So that was really cool too.
Yeah, I think I will say too, we had some breweries last year that were like, yeah, we'll do it, and then they never sent the check. So we got to kind of stay on a little bit more. But last year, I know you hit up, like, Open Road really came through with a lot.
Right.
Saugatuck Brewing. So I'll ping you tomorrow when I'm playing with emails, or I'll copy you on it.
Mhm.
But Saugatuck Brewing last year wanted to do more. Like, they're like,
Right.
what can we do next year?
Yeah.
Bigger, better, stronger, whatever. So hopefully, we'll be able to catch those again too. And I think you did 424 as well, and
424.
Yeah. So I'm, I think this timing is a little bit better. We are, so update for the competition. Registration's been open now for just over 2 weeks. We've sold out, or not sold out. Sorry. We have sold a little over,
We're at
3/5.
330, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, almost at the 3/4 mark of entries, which for a Michigan only competition is pretty strong. I have to go back and look. I'm going to try to do that while we're talking, because I posted, I put a post up on Michigan Beer Cup last year, the day that we sold out. So I'm going to go back and see if I can find that.
Most of the competitions that I enter throughout the year, and I enter a lot of competitions, are not even 300.
Yeah.
At a max for the entirety of the United States. Like,
Right.
they don't allow that many entries, and like sometimes they don't even get that many entries. And so like for just 330 for Michigan alone is like really crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing
So we
something right,
actually,
that's for sure.
I think we opened the competition earlier last year and we capped on June 11th. So we're a week away from it, but I actually think we were open longer last year.
Mm-hmm.
But to say that this is a Michigan only comp, and to sell, 300, 400, 500 entries for being Michigan only is really impressive. You're right. The comps that I see that are selling out in minutes, they're small and they're nationwide. And it's typically those big clubs, not knocking them, but it's going to be, like the Kansas City Beermeisters and, the San Diego clubs and things like that. And the people that are playing the circuit that are sniping them and filling them up.
People have seen our medals. People have
Yeah.
reached out to us asking us not to be a Michigan only competition. If we were nationwide, we would be sold out in the first week easily.
Yeah, easy. If not the
Easy.
first couple of days. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm happy with it. Look, we're at a good clip right now, 330. We do have 3 more weeks, I believe. Or maybe no, we have a month. We have a month left to register. I think we closed registration on July 9th.
Yeah, we got a lot of feedback last year asking for the close of the competition to be much closer to the competition date. Yeah, the judging date.
Yeah.
Because last year, for sure, we had like a month-long gap, and beer is just sitting around for a month, and we're not doing anything with it. We sort it, a week or a couple days before the competition. Like, totally valid feedback, and I just want to make sure that people know that we listen to that, and that's why we made the entry period so much longer this year, is that we're going to close it. We're going to give ourselves like 10 days to get all of our shit organized, to get all the beers organized and labels, and then we're going to rock it out.
Yeah.
And so if you have a really fresh hazy, or a lot of those other styles that are like a little bit more susceptible to, bottling changes and stuff like that, we want to make sure that, your stuff tastes as good as possible. So,
and I want to say for next year, we couldn't do it this year. But we are talking to our host, and next year I'm going to do everything we can, or we are going to do everything we can to actually put judging the week before awards. So the idea for next year, if I can get the host and everybody to agree to this, it would be, registration drop off closes like first week of August, judging second week of August, awards is third week of August.
We always run up against like the state fair a little bit.
Yep.
And
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes there's one other comp around that time too. I think sometimes I can't. Yeah, but yeah,
yeah. But we're going to talk to judges. We're going to see how it pans out. But ideally, I want to get that lag time, because right now we're going to judge on July 19th, and we're actually not going to present awards until August 16th. I think, and that's because we are really, firm on having our award ceremony at the Michigan Homebrew Festival,
Right.
Which I want to keep and maintain that relationship. So
And
hopefully next year,
as we all know, being in competitions, that okay, I entered the competition, and then like 3 months later, I finally get notification of what happened.
yeah.
Our goal is actually, and I think we did it last year. It's like I think we had sheets up within 24 hours.
For sure, it was close to that. I had to figure out how to edit the BC OEM page. Like I had to tweak the code a little bit because there was, at least at the time, it might be an option now. At the time, there was no option to just put up score sheets without also pushing the winners list.
Places.
Yep. So I have all that saved off this year. So we plan on doing the same thing.
And we'll
send out emails too.
Yep. But we had Lori Kula is amazing, helps me with the paperwork. So we leave the judging, most of the paperwork's done, and we can get those released. This year I'm excited because we're gonna have Lori and Shayna doing paperwork.
We might have 2 scanners, I think.
Yeah, I think so. So thanks for Shayna for helping out with that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we'll have the information up, but we just can't do the awards until MHF. But next year, I hope that we're going to be able to knock it out much quicker. But in order to do that, we got to pay for it. Trying to circle back, find that topic again.
And we want to up it a little bit every year, and so the best of show prizes are going to be a little cooler this year too.
They will, as long as we get the money.
Exactly. Yeah. And we're not just talking monetary prizes, but we hopefully will have some cool physical prizes too.
No, I think I've said it on a show before, so it's okay to talk about it. But our goal is, and I think this came from, I'm going to credit Kukuk for the wrestling belt or the championship belt, but the goal is that Best of Show beer will get a sick ass fucking wrestling belt. They will be able to keep that. That is not a traveling trophy. This is theirs to hang on their wall forever. And that ties into the sponsorship, because the belt that we're looking at, which I'll try to find a picture of, but the belt that we're looking at will have a large center panel for the Michigan Beer Cup logo and the year, and calling out that they're a badass motherfucking champion. Can we put that on there? We probably can.
Why not?
If they allow it, sure. Why not? Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
But then the belt also has like 4 side plates that we can actually sell to sponsors, if they want to be on the motherfucking belt, and I'll say 3 because I'd actually like to give one to OneWell for hosting us. So one of the one of the plaques on the side of the belt will say OneWell, but the other 3 are up for sale. Here, let me find it really quick.
Yeah. And it may not be this year, but we want to have something cool for Mead and Cider too.
Yes.
Like maybe not a belt, but something just as cool. We just don't know what yet. So Mead and Cider is not going to get neglected. They'll still have, cool monetary prizes and stuff like that. And we'll do something cool like we did with the digital honey refractometer last year, but beer for sure is going to hopefully have that belt this year.
And we'll talk to people, I mean, maybe it's a ring, maybe it's a big ass Super Bowl ring or something like that. So I've got an example. This one only shows 2 here. Let me add this to the screen. Chrome tab.
Oh, Chrome. You're still using Chrome?
I do, because I can have 6 different Chrome for all the businesses that I work in.
That's fair.
So I can have a Chrome for one company and a Chrome for another company. And I can't do that with Edge. You can, but it's not as easy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, big ass belt. Could be gold, could be silver. We don't know yet. Fucking custom design, custom logos on the side. It's not this one. I can't find the exact one. The one that we're looking at, though, has 4. It's big, it's gaudy, it's beautiful. You'll be able to wander around beer camp, all day Saturday with this thing over your shoulder or around your waist if you actually want to wear it.
I mean,
So-
I'm not gonna lie. If I won that thing, yeah, you couldn't take that thing off of me for. at
Oh
least
no,
a
no,
week.
no.
I'd
It's
be
gonna be fucking
showering with
sick.
that thing.
Yeah. So those are things, and I'm really, and kind of off or more into the details. Bryan or Fisher, since you're going to be helping us sell those, sell them for whatever you can. Like, I don't
Right.
think we have any, oh, it's got to be. I mean, it's not going to say something like, oh, it's got to be $500 or $1,000 or any of that shit. Like, we whatever the top breweries, businesses that we can get out of that, or club. If a club really says
Sure.
we want to have our
Yeah.
fucking club on the belt, then talk to me and we'll figure out a price that makes sense. And
Sure.
Or an individual, if they just want to buy it and put something stupid on the
you
belt.
want your face laser engraved on the fucking best of show. You got the cash, you can have it.
Hang on. How much you want for that? Ain't gonna be my face, baby.
I don't know if there's enough room for what you're talking about, 2-pint.
They charge by the inch, man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so half price. Okay, so we're doing good.
Oh,
But
No,
yeah, I know we had also talked about possibly, throwing out to the breweries, doing almost like tiered sponsorship levels, that sort of thing. And I may do something along those lines in emails that I send out, especially to the folks that we know are interested and have supported us in the past. It's like, here are some different options if you so choose to get more involved with the competition, and we would love to have everything that you can throw at us.
Yeah. Last year, I know, like I said, we've done this before. We had Maniacal step up, and they wanted to be the Best of Show Mead sponsor. And they gave us a good chunk of change. We appreciate their support. But yeah, that's what we're looking for. If you know somebody, sorry, let me jump in here, Shane. If you know somebody from Ogma, reach out. Let me make the connection. We appreciate it.
For sure.
We can do the sales. Like, you just put them in
just
touch or whatever.
Make the introduction. We love Ogma. Yeah, and then Keith makes it. One, I want to call out Keith has helped us with almost all of our corporate sponsors. He does some amazing stuff. In fact, he's got a fundraiser going on right now for his 24-hour brewathon this year. He's supporting Rainbow Connection, which is kind of like a Make-A-Wish, kind of sponsorship. And Keith is always kind of working with different charities or reaching out to different corporate sponsors to get these kind of donations, and he shared his list with us last year, and it's a big fucking help. But anyway, let me go, actually, since we're talking about it, let me find a link to Keith's thing, and we'll post it here so it'll be out there and people can donate to the 24-hour brewathon if you want.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, and it's nice to get those big corporate sponsors. But what I definitely found last year going around to the breweries was actually sitting in front of the owner, or at least one of the decision makers, and saying, hey, I'm Bryan, and this is what we're doing, and this is what we'd like from you. We can't really go to Blickman and go, hey, is John around? We just need 10 minutes of his time and talk to him for a little bit. And so, yeah, those sorts of things are awesome to be able to get that sort of information, especially if you've got someone who is running, who has run or is running other competitions, and they can say, hey, we reached out to these 3 sponsors, and if you talk to so and such over here, they're the ones that you want to talk to. Yep. I mean, I walked into every one of these breweries completely blind, just going, hi, I'm just some dude, and I need to talk to your manager.
Yeah.
Manager comes out and it's just like, the hell do you want? How much money?
I tell you, and it's just, that's why I appreciate you, because like I tried to do that a few times. I remember going to a couple of breweries And then I say something like that and they're like, fuck off. And I'm like, okay. You've got a better sales presence, I think, than I do.
I also pitched bands for 30 years, man. And, so I know bar owners, especially dive bar owners, are a special breed unto themselves. And, pitching to those guys. So I'm used to that sort of thing. And I'm not afraid to hear no.
Yeah.
And I totally get it when somebody says, hey, it's not in our budget this year. Cool. I'll put you on the list and I'll swing by next year and we'll see how things are going now.
Yep. For some reason, I don't have a problem, and it's my own broken psyche, but or whatever. But I can go into a brewery and pester them to be on our show, no problem. I have done that. I have done that to angry, pissed off brewers in the UP, that are just opening their brewery for the season. I've been like, hey, I run a podcast in North Michigan. You want to come talk about your brewery? But man, ask them for $50. It's I struggle.
I think it's probably because when you're talking to them about being on the podcast, I'm just asking for an hour of your time.
Yeah.
And it's different going up to somebody and saying, hey, will you give me money?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we all know, money changes relationships. It really does.
It does. I will say, I'm not going to name the brewery, but we had a great interview with a brewery one year. Made great relationships with these people, and they like gave us a bunch of beer and had an amazing show. And I reached out to them for $50, and they basically told me to fuck off.
Wow.
Well, and you don't know who else is asking them for $50 too.
I know.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things I was thinking of. I was telling Jason before the show when he sent me the message saying, hey, we want to talk about fundraising, and I haven't done anything yet. And I'm like, oh shit. But then I thought about it and I'm like, yeah, but you bust into a brewery in March and say, hey, we're doing this thing in August and we'd really like $50 from you. And we all know, all the people that do, like, what is it, dry January or dry February or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And around our neck of the woods, it's all resorts, so there's nobody in these tap rooms and stuff. And you walk into a place where there's 3 people at the bar, and you, hey, you guys want to give me $50? They're like, the fuck, I want to give you a nickel right now. But come into the season, it's a little bit easier, when the cash register's ringing nonstop and the place is packed and that sort of thing. It's like, hey, I'm looking for $50.
Depends on like where people's backgrounds are from too. Like,
sure,
there's a lot of home brewers that open up breweries that never took part in competitions, and they don't see the value in it, and they're like, fuck that,
Yep.
or even like outright dislike competitions, which is fine.
Like home brewers,
or yeah, sure, 100%.
Pretentious.
Yeah.
Well, pretentious homebrewers. Yeah.
Oh yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
so
exactly
yeah,
what I was thinking.
Yeah. But I don't know where I was going with that, but
I need a break.
I don't blame them.
Yeah. 1, Shane, I have a fucking beard. 2, I haven't quite finished puberty yet, so fuck off.
You're gonna be a handsome boy when you get there.
Oh man, when I hit puberty and I can grow that mustache and fill this fucker in, I'm gonna give you guys a run for your money.
Right on.
Fuck you with your big ass fucking Santa rug, dude.
Worked long and hard on this.
I know. I can't lose a chip in it. You can hide a 6-pack in yours.
Right?
Yeah.
He's like, actually,
let me get my next beer.
Speak of the devil.
Anyway. Yes. So asking for money's hard, but that's why we have Bryan or Fischer, and I appreciate you and your help with that. I am going to try to, ramp up the corporate sponsorship. Like he said, we got a ton of stuff to give away last year to do the raffle at the end, and I want to kind of keep that trend going, because I like my fondest memories from Beer Cup when I started participating in Beer Cup 11 years ago or whatever. It's like I remember winning like my first one. I won like a beer gun, and I used to come home with all kinds of shit. And
You
it
came
was
back
like,
to a keepers meeting, and I didn't really know who you were, but you were talking about this competition you entered and all this shit that you came back with. And I was like, that's fucking cool. I didn't even know homebrew competitions were a thing. Tell me
Right.
more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let alone they give you all this free stuff.
Yep. All this cool shit.
It was the next year that I entered that competition. It was my first competition. They randomized the categories that they called up because they had a spread of tables that you just went up to pick a prize from, depending on if you took a gold, silver, or bronze. And I was somewhere near the first 5 gold medals for an IPA. And I went up and I got a 3-way secondary regulator as a prize. And I didn't need it for anything, but like I knew that it was like expensive.
Yeah.
So I was like, fucking, this is sweet. Like I paid $50 or whatever for my entries, and I got like a $150 like regulator as a prize. Like,
Sure.
fucking, that's awesome.
And now that regulator's on your jockey box, right?
It is. Yeah.
It's
on my trash can jockey box. Yeah. Yep. 10 years later, I finally found a use for it. Yeah.
No, and that's so, we struggled with that because I don't like randomizing categories. I understand why they did it, because I was participating back before they did that, when like category 1 got the coolest fucking prize because they got to pick first. And and by the time you got to fruit beer, you were getting, I can tell you, I got so many gift cards to breweries on the other side of the state that I never wound up going to. Because they used to do that too. There were a lot of breweries that would give gift cards or growler fills or really cool shit, but I was I never made it back over there. Right. And then I remember when a brewery went out of business, and I was like, man, they sound familiar, and I went and dug through my box, and I was like, man, I had $100 worth of gift cards to them. God. Oh well, it is what it is. But
they probably needed the $100.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm glad they had it, but
yeah.
But no, it's like, so we did a raffle last year where everybody that got a medal got a number of tickets, and then we were able to just afterwards kind of burn through, and it kind of gave everybody from, whatever medal or honorable mention that you got a chance to win something. And I thought it went really, really well. I think there was one person that made a recommendation that we do not allow the one person to win multiple awards. And
I disagree.
I disagree too. That's what a raffle is. And
I agree.
If you had 4 gold medals and you got fucking 20 tickets, then you had 20 chances to win. That was
you deserve a better chance to win even multiple times. Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. So, well, we'll follow this out first. So we are doing that again. If you get, you can win multiple times. We're not going to make the change. But we're going to do that again. We're going to raffle everything off. And then, Keith is, so for for his charity thing that he's doing that I posted up above here in the comments, which I should say, Keith, any rando donations that come in after this show go to Keepers, right? Okay. But Keith is going to take a large portion of his prizes, and he's going to do a raffle. I think Keith, are you going to sell tickets at Homebrew Fest? I'll let him answer. But so you're going to have a chance from Keith to win just a massive amount of shit. And that's going to be super awesome. Yeah, he is going to sell tickets at Homebrew Fest. So there'll be a big raffle for some
bring
fun
cash
shit from
MHF.
Keith. Yeah, bring cash. And it's for a good cause. Just fucking go donate.
Just enter it. Out of state checks.
What's that?
Does he take third-party out of state checks?
I'm sure he will. He knows you're good for it. So yeah, so we're gonna get the club sponsorship emails out tomorrow. We're gonna and the posts up. We're gonna start hitting up breweries. I'm gonna that's gonna be primarily you, Brian, but I'll try to come with you, or that Fisher. I'm sorry, 2 pint. It's gonna be primarily 2 pint. But I would love to go along with you and buy you beers along the way.
I will.
And then we're going to start hitting up corporates too. I think this week.
And I'm planning on this weekend at least sending emails out to the folks that we know were involved last year.
Yeah.
Really no need for me to pop my head in there and bother them while they're busy anyway.
Yeah.
My goal is to bring on some new ones. One of the other things I was thinking is trying to find some breweries that are more niche oriented. Like up here we have Brass Ring that is strictly 100% English beers, and just walking in there and going, we have all these English categories that would really love a sponsor. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it works out. It's like I can almost always count on, and I say that now, I gotta email him tomorrow, but I can almost always count on like Brewery Becker to do historical. Ken Schramm does fruit mead. One Well likes to do IPA. And so I do think there's a benefit of kind of jumping on earlier and participating earlier. Famous Dave's already has smoke beer. I'm already going to mark them down for it.
Right.
Yeah.
But get the beer you're known for. If you got that good lager shop, or I had reached out to a couple of Belgian breweries last year hoping to sell those Belgian categories. Struck out, but try again this year.
We'll get in touch with like a Stormcloud again this year.
Yeah,
they're up by Traverse City, right?
Just a little south.
Kinda.
Yeah,
about an hour away from Traverse City.
But they have the best Belgian pale ale that I've ever had. For life of me, I can't remember the name. It's all these things tonight that I know the name. Rainmaker. I keep trying to do a Rainmaker clone, and I can never quite catch it. It's a fucking hell of a good beer, though. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it'd be awesome if they would. That'd be great. But yeah. So what else? So we're gonna stick with cash prizes for gold and silver. We'll most likely still be working with Hopcraft Supply, since they're the only Michigan-based homebrew supply store that can support that level of online shipping.
Online shipping, online ordering is the big deal.
Yeah. I know we had talked about trying to support some of the smaller ones, more local ones. It's just really hard. We don't have a good way to kind of predict or even say like, well, my hope was to say like, oh, all of the winners that are from the east side, we're gonna buy this one, and for all the ones that are on west side, we're going to buy that one. It's got to be logistically a little bit hard to manage. Actually impossible to manage. Right. And unfortunately we have to kind of get those done a little early to secure some of the funding that we also get from them, because Hopcraft Supply is a huge donor. They give us, what is it, like $600?
It might be between 3 and 6. I can't remember if they help split the cost of the best show prizes with us or not.
Yeah.
Or just cover them in total if we buy all of the other gift cards. Yeah. It might vary from year to year too, depending on how their business is, but for sure they're going to hopefully be very good to us this year. So
hopefully. So I'll be reaching out to them, and so everybody, that's the plan. Gold and silver is going to get gift certificates. Bronze, you're going to get a free entry into Beer Cup again this year. We're going to work it out a little bit better next year, so we have it kind of in advance. This year, everybody that won a bronze last year, I appreciate your patience as we've worked through. We've had to do some refunds and some things like that, but it's not been too bad. And And then we're looking to do the belt, something for best of show mead. In addition to the plaques, trophies, whatever that we've done before, we're still going to do the high gravity award for our kind of Gambrinus style club award. We'll of course have the Michigan Beer Cup award for the best club in the state. Which hoping this year it'll
Come back home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was nice to see it go away for a year, but it's time to come back home. What else?
We owe Lee McBain some prizes.
I think
we're gonna try to
I thought about
get
that
him
the other
his
day.
shit this year.
I started to create that swag store earlier in the year, and I think I talked about it. I'm like, oh, we're gonna have a swag store. And
Right.
They emailed me today and they're like, hey, are you gonna publish this? Life got busy. Life got real busy.
Yeah.
No, the other thing I was gonna mention was and it's gone. Anyway.
Michigan Brewers sponsored disc golf tournament. You pay in and there'll be a prize at the end, and the rest of the money can go towards Michigan Brew or
we should
Michigan
do
Beer
a
Cup
disc golf tournament at Homebrew Fest this year. Let's
So-
talk about that.
So my very first year or my second year there, it wasn't a tournament, but some guy organized a tour of the disc golf course, and he brought like 8 or 10 people around for us all to play because we hadn't played before and nobody knew the course, and he did. And it was a lot of fun. So we could do something like that maybe.
The first year that we did MHF at Camp Agawam, we actually had all kinds of competitions. There was a fishing competition. There was
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. I won it.
What?
I think I was the only one that did it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was a fishing competition. I think I can't remember, maybe Keith you remember if there was a beer mile or we did a beer race. I think we did.
Oh wow.
We did a bunch of other stupid shit. Of course,
There's
there's
been
always
barbecue
like the
comps.
barbecue comp.
Yep.
Yeah. And the barbecue comp is coming back this year.
Okay.
But maybe as a side note, Michigan Beer Cup / Michigan Brews, we could put on they had a beer mile schedule. I don't think anybody showed up for it. They also had a dirty swim that nobody showed up for either.
I think I recall seeing that advertised.
Me and my wife walked down there not to do it, but just to watch all the potentially drunk naked idiots run to the lake, and we just sat at the lake by ourselves all night. So, which is lovely, but but no, man, maybe we should put on a Michigan Beer Cup, Michigan Brews disc golf, little mini disc golf tournament. We'll talk about that. I'll get with you, Keith, if we can figure it out. That'd be cool.
That'd be a lot
And
of
if nobody
fun.
signs up, that's fine.
Yeah, if high score wins, I am going to be grand champion.
Sure. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't even know how to
Yeah.
do that. I don't even know how you score a disc golf tournament. Like, yeah. I just remember last year we had people park their campers in the disc golf course and it cost some shit. Like the disc golfers out there were pretty fucking serious about it.
Ooh.
Yeah, they were pretty pissed. But yeah, so we're doing that, and we need to start raising money for this shit show. So the medals, that's where I was going to go earlier. The medals this year, as I think we've said a dozen times, I've put in the order for the medals to be a ½ inch bigger. So last year we made them thicker. This year we're making them bigger.
And keeping the same thickness as last
And keeping
year.
the same thickness. Yeah.
Mhm.
So they'll still be thick, but they'll also be wide, girthy. And we're going back to the antique colors. So antique finishes, gold, silver, bronze. I think last year the shiny looked a little chintzy, a little cheap.
I don't know. I had mixed feedback. A lot of people liked it.
I know. Well,
It's
we're
more
going
comp,
back
so
to
you could-
antique.
yeah.
Antique. I'm hoping to have them. I actually think the guy that I've ordered medals from, because I told you I mailed them like 2 months ago.
Mhm.
He never responded to me.
Oh.
So I actually got a hold of somebody else in the company. I think the guy that I was working with before is gone.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully just retired. But anyway, they're working up a quote for us right now. Yeah, so we're gonna have these big, beautiful medals. I don't have anything to show right now. We're gonna have the wrestling belt. We're gonna have the raffle. We're gonna have prizes.
We're
As long
almost
as-
capped out on diameter and girth on the
Nah,
medals,
man.
aren't we?
That
No.
motherfucker's gonna be a Flavor Flav cock.
if we can get there, can we get there?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we
All
get
right.
there.
All right.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna have to raise the price of entries up to like $40, but fuck it. Fuck it. It'll
You
break
want
your
that
neck.
medal, you're gonna have to pay
That's
for it.
right. That's right. No, we'll hit a cap. I think right now this year it'll be 3.5 inches. So we'll probably have to like cap it like 4 inches or something like that. Because I think it gets to be like, we're talking like half a pound of metal around your neck.
Well, and you get some of these really good brewers that walk out of there with 4 and 5 medals. You can give
Mhm.
somebody back problems.
Yeah. Last year's heavy metal winner was Brandon Edwards. Year before that, I think, was Mark Hoffman.
Mhm.
So yeah, I like those guys. I don't want to hurt them.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway,
or heavy metal winner, you're going to have to use some of the prize money to hire someone to carry their medals around for.
they will. That would be awesome. But yeah, so the big call out is if you're listening to this or you listen to it later and you're part of a beer club or somebody that owns a brewery, please let us know. I know, Shane, you asked about what the tier levels were. We'll get to reach out to us or I'll reach out to you separately and we'll come up with something. But this is very much a community driven kind of grassroots fundraiser, so we appreciate everybody's help. And if you can help us get the money for this, you're just going to make the prizes and the awards and the medals bigger and better.
And like we said earlier, it doesn't even have to be a brewery. It could be a cidery. It could be maybe your dad just really wants to support your hobby, and dad's got an extra $50 and wants to sponsor a category.
I would love to have somebody, not a business. I would love to have somebody on the belt.
That would be pretty fucking cool.
I know.
You choose your picture, choose your image, as long as
I'm calling this out right
to...
now, Keith. Wouldn't it be cool to have fucking Pat Hyde on the fucking belt? Come on. Somebody's got to come up with the money to make that happen. Yeah. I don't care. I don't care who it is. But yep, I want to get somebody on the belt. And some good businesses, hopefully.
Here's a thought. Next year, what if we create 4 auctions and we just create 4 different auctions, and it can be a business, it can be a person. If you win the auction, whatever you want goes on the belt.
That sounds like a great idea. But you still haven't given Lee his sweatshirt from 3 years ago. So
I got you, Lee. We'll make this happen. No, I'm not only are we getting Lee his hoodie, we're getting him a better hoodie than what he would have gotten multiple years ago. We're getting him a it's like one of the ones that I have, like a fleece lined, like heavy, like warm, with a logo on a small patch on the front and a big patch on the back. And I'm gonna have to reach out to him to make sure he's the same size as he was before. But I mean, t-shirt, hoodie, hat, and I think pint glass we promised him too. There's probably other shit, but I think as long as we get him like those 4 things, he'll be all right. So nobody tell Lee, and Lee, don't watch this episode. It'll be a surprise.
So this is, and I haven't told you about this yet. Hold on, let me put this over here.
Shanna says it's a whole coat, Lee.
Make this bigger. Hold on. This is my new thing. we're only it's going to be 101, but if it works out and it's good, then maybe there will be more than one of one. But this is coming next week, and it is a lightweight sun hoodie.
Oh, okay. Sweet. All right.
Yep. So those
do you wear an undershirt with that, or is that the shirt?
And that's a shirt, but it's got it's got like a sunscreen rating, like a 30 SPF or 50 SPF.
That's cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So they're super lightweight, kind of like the pants that we talked about. They're super lightweight, super breathable, meant to be worn in the sun. But that's coming. Yeah, I approved the proof, and now it's coming. I think next week.
That'll be sweet.
I'm toying with making with having some let's get judgy T-shirts to wear for beer camp.
Let me know if I can buy one from you.
I would buy one.
Yeah.
Well, on the back, I want to have it say, "Are you BJCP curious?"
It's beautiful. I'll definitely buy one.
Yes, please.
If you come up with a logo, Brian, let me know. I really did. There's this really great kind of free online drop ship or print to order store that I'm using for Michigan Brews. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. But if you can come up with artwork and get it set up,
okay,
and then you can order, or anybody can order. Actually, it's just called Bonfire. Just Google Bonfire merch store.
Gotcha.
But you should totally do that. I think we need to get some more insufferable pretentious homebrewer shirts made up.
Oh
Shit,
yeah.
I'll trade you even up.
I want to get some Michigan Brew stuff done, but I want to get that merch store up and running in the near future so that we can order Lee some shit. But yeah,
I one more thing that, like, totally off topic, only because I was thinking about this week. I don't know if it's full yet. I don't think it is, but in November, 20 Greening is doing a BJCP mead exam over in the Detroit area. And I think there may be a few spots left. So if you have any interest in doing the mead tasting exam, reach out to Tony, or if you don't know Tony, reach out to me and I can put you in touch. All you have to do is take the online exam ahead of time, kind of like you would for the beer exam. But those don't happen that often. Same with the cider exams. They're far more rare than the beer exams. So I think there's spots open. I'm not positive, but if that's something that you're interested in, let me know and I can reach out and figure that out. So
right on.
Yeah.
One other last thing I want to do call out. Aside from money, the thing that we need the most to make Beer Cup a successful competition is judges and stewards. So please, if you are available, the judging is going to be July 19th, starts at 9 a.m. Steward check-in, judging check-in can be, I think, as early as like 8:30. We're going to have, some light breakfast provided. Lunch will be provided. It'll be at the One Well production facility, which is in Kalamazoo, Michigan. We are going to have some more posts going up about that in the near future. I'm going to link some hotels and shit like that are in the area. But if you can come and help out, please do so. And I think the last time I looked, and I'm trying to look now, but I closed the tab, I think we only had like 20 people registered to judge and steward. We need like 70.
I was checking my OnlyFans. What was the date on that?
July 19th.
July 19th. Okay.
It's a Saturday, July 19th. And if you're not there, you're dead to me.
The only reason I may not be is because my mother trumps you.
Bring your mom.
She can steward. That's totally fine.
Yeah. No, we have a family vacation.
Come up with something.
basically.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody else about that too. Like running a beer competition in the middle of summer when everybody wants to go on vacation is tough.
It's
tough.
hard.
So
Yes.
I totally get at that. And so pushing it to August next year too may help us secure judges a little bit more easily. We'll see. But yeah, even if you don't have your BJCP certification, you want to learn how to judge, like as long as we can get enough actual BJCP judges, we will hook you up. We have a great talent pool in Michigan,
and it's a great way to dip your toes in the pool and see if judging's a thing that you like. And the judging pool that you guys have for beer cup, for beer, mead, and cider. I know the first year I judged beer cup, you guys said, yeah, and then we'll have you doing mead and cider tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, okay. both the mead and the cider sessions that I sat with, I had great partners. It's basically the judging community as a whole. Yeah, the guys, the people that have been around and are those advanced ranks, they are more than happy to teach and guide all of us new kids. So if you're scared about, oh my gosh, I don't know anything about anything, your partner's going to help you walk through the whole thing, and it's really a cool experience.
And I'll tell you, like, I made a joke. I made a joke to Bryan a couple weeks ago. A competition in Canada like posted the other day. They bragged about how they're going to have like 6 grandmaster judges, and they're like a big national competition, and that's cool, and they're going to have some really good judges. But so are we. We are going to have like Sandy Cockrum, Gail Milburn. Sandy's the president of the BJCP. She's going to be here judging for us. Gail's the vice president of the BJCP. She's going to be here judging for us. We usually actually wind up with like 1 or 2 more GMs. So we pull in some great talent, great networking opportunities. If you want to come and meet Gail or Sandy, learn more about the BJCP, or just get a chance to kind of make that connection. It's really, it's a good group of people. I think Mike Winnie's been there in the past. He's an amazing grandmaster judge. I'm hoping that we can pull in, some other ones from out of state. Bryan and I made a lot of connections last year at Indiana Brewers Cup, and I've reached out to some of those judges, and I've had some conversations. We even may have a judge coming from Georgia to judge. Yeah,
that's cool.
I know we've got one registered from Illinois. He reached out to me, and he's registered. So yeah, this is going to be, it's a good opportunity to, meet other passionate BJCP people and judge, just an amazing competition. We are the longest running competition in the state of Michigan. I think we are the largest homebrew competition. We are the largest homebrew competition in the state of Michigan. And there's going to be a lot of good experience here. So yeah, if you can judge or steward, please come hang out with us for the day. I do want to call out the 19th of July is beer only. Unless I get like 100 judges sign up, it's going to be beer only. We will most likely do mead and cider at a later date, and we haven't figured out those details yet. So I know there are some judges that are interested in that. I'm kind of waiting another week to see what the entries come in as and how many entries I've got to kind of deal with in the mead cider range. And we're actually going to most likely find a date, in the weeks between July 19th and beer camp, somewhere probably more on the east side. And I'll be taking some mead and cider over, over the.
We have a lot of Michigan Mead Coalition people over there.
Yep. So, and we may be doing some smaller flights and things like that in between, but yeah, keep an eye out on our Michigan Beer Cup Facebook page, and then you can go to michiganbeercup.com. Right, that's the site.
I mean, if you go to michiganbeercup.com, it redirects you to comp.michiganbeercup.com, which is it's fine. Yeah.
Yep. So check it out. Help us out. and we'll have an amazing comp.
Absolutely.
All right. Brian, feel free to stick on afterwards for a little bit
All
here.
right.
Yeah.
So remember, friends and neighbors, keep those cards and checks coming.
Fuck yeah. All right, guys. And we'll
Cheers.
be back with the next show, which is going to be sorting and stewarding and seller mastering sometime in the next month.
Well, hopefully this month. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cheers.
All right. Cheers.
Night all.